This is the largest tornado in recorded history, heading straight for storm chasers desperately trying to escape. In just a couple of minutes, this monster would become one of the strongest, most infamous tornadoes in modern history. But how did this happen? An EF5 tornado just went through Moore, Oklahoma, leveling multiple neighborhoods. The large Oklahoma City metro is left in shock at the devastation. May is an active time for tornadoes in Oklahoma, but nothing like this could have been predicted. One thing about the weather, though, is that it stops for no one. As the weather system responsible for the EF5 tornado fades to the east, a new system follows from behind. Forecasters notice a strong trough on weather models and note it will intensify over central Oklahoma as winds push from a region of high pressure to low pressure. A band of robust winds foster the wind shear needed for storms to form. The summer heat and strong moisture from the Gulf blend in these areas as well, giving the atmosphere every ingredient it would need for supercell thunderstorms. But still, not every supercell is a disaster.
Feels like South Florida. I gotta tell you, I mean, my hands have been sticky all day. It's just a ton of moisture in the atmosphere right now. And a couple of storms that have already begun to fire here. Gonna show them to you. Off to our north here, this is one that's gonna head toward, we believe, Cashin. You can see a well-delineated base to this. So we're gonna have to position ourselves in a way that lets those storms slide by us, where we can kind of avoid the larger hail cores because they've already put down some big hail.
Hundreds, possibly thousands of chasers have chosen today to chase storms. I mean, it was perfect. Right in the middle of Tornado Alley, summer had just rolled around, and a huge tornado had just occurred in the exact same area, enticing chasers with the prospect of another potentially historic event. With the risk directly situated on central Oklahoma, storm chasers needed a good place to sit and wait, while still avoiding traffic from the huge Oklahoma City. To the west of the Oklahoma City metro, the town of Reno presented itself as the perfect target for chasers. I want to take a brief moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. There have been times in my life where I've struggled with severe anxiety and stress. For a while, I remember feeling like I couldn't really open up to people around me because I didn't want to be a burden. In retrospect, I realized how much it would have helped to talk to an actual professional. This is where BetterHelp comes in. BetterHelp is an online platform that connects you with a licensed therapist who's trained to help you with whatever you're going through. Whether it's stress, anxiety, or just needing someone to talk to, they've got you covered. It's super easy to get started. All you have to do is go to betterhelp.com/tornado2rex, answer a few questions, and you'll be matched with a therapist who has experience in the areas you're actually looking for. You can communicate with your therapist through phone calls, video chat, or messaging. So really, whatever feels most comfortable to you. The best part, you'll usually be matched with a therapist within 48 hours, so you can start getting the support you need fast. If you're ready to take that step towards better mental health, visit betterhelp.com/tornado2rex or choose Tornado TRX during sign up for a special discount on your first month. Now back to the video. With the Reno area packed with chasers, 4:30 p.m. split on radar appears, then a couple more. With the extreme instability present or available energy in the atmosphere, these blips are quickly going to turn into monster supercells. Renowned storm chaser Tim Samaras tweets about the dangerous potential ahead. Storms now initiating south of Watauga along the triple point. Dangerous day ahead for Oklahoma. Stay weather savvy. Tim is chasing with his group Twistex. His son, Paul Samaras, and a close colleague of his named Carl Young accompany him as part of the team. Their goal? Get life-saving data of tornadoes using instruments like pressure probes. In fact, back in 2003, Tim had set the world record for the lowest pressure drop ever recorded in a tornado, and he was out there to do it again, risking his life for the safety of those around him. By 5 p.m., many of the cells are spinning and producing massive hail. This would be the start of the storm's dangerous behavior. It's not long until they begin to merge into one giant complex, with the southernmost storm becoming dominant. This dominance allows it to tap into atmospheric ingredients more efficiently and spin tighter than the others. Rapid rotation encompasses the base of the storm, and a large wall cloud forms. This wall cloud highlights the mesocyclone of the storm, essentially the portion capable of producing a tornado.
Right here, we're just south, about 2 miles and maybe a mile west of El Reno. This is right here. It's about right here.
At 6:01 p.m., first report of a tornado appears. When exactly this tornado actually touched down, however, is a little murky, as the actual base of the storm is enormous. Instead of a thin funnel emerging from the spinning clouds, dust began to swirl randomly underneath the entire storm. While currently weak, it's obvious that something big is about to happen. It's just a matter of when. At 6:03, a small funnel stretches to the ground before lifting back in the air.
It's down right behind the trees. Another small funnel on the ground. We got multiple vortexes. Multi-vortexes.
What about Leggy?
This is our first look at what is called a sub-vortex. You see, tornadoes are not exactly one single spiral into the air, but rather multiple strong vortices of wind spinning around a common center. Typically, these vortices are so close and similar in strength that they appear as one. But in this storm, the area of rotation is so large and has so much energy, these sub-vortices appear erratically and discretely under the base. Multiple smaller circulations converge and morph towards one main tornadic circulation, and the entire beast sways around unpredictably. If this isn't already confusing enough, the situation becomes more erratic as multiple instances of twins to even quadruplet tornadoes occur. The storm is currently moving at a moderate 20 miles per hour to the southeast. Remember this number for later. To the southeast of the storm, a tornado touring group called Tempest tours with
So, if sub-vortices are inside of, it makes it look like one big thing, then what are inside the sub-vortices?
visitors are watching the tornado. Mesmerized by it, the group's leaders are unaware of how close the actual tornado is, as the small subvortices dance around in random directions. In fact, the edge of the circulation is less than 3 minutes. The tour leader is watching these increasingly erratic vortices carefully. He expects to see the tornado moving from left to right, which would indicate the tornado is moving from west to east, the expected direction of motion. Instead, they see no motion. That's when they realize something terrifying. The tornado is moving directly towards the tour group. The tour leader immediately honks his horn to get the group back in the van. At this moment, they have less than 60 seconds to get out of the tornado's path. Tour group members jump into the vans, and the convoy bombs southwards to escape the tornado's path. Fortunately, they are able to outrun the vortex, a rare occurrence in comparison to others. The majority of chasers have positioned themselves to the south of the tornado. This is because, again, the tornado should be moving to the northeast, but because of the sudden southeast motion, they find themselves scrambling to get out of the way of the powerful circulation. Due to the hundreds of chasers, mobility is severely hindered as traffic jams begin to form. The hype caused by the active season has caused a backlog of chasers itching to get as close to the tornado as possible. This is a grave mistake, as that decision, combined with the erratic motion and structure of the tornado, is creating one of the most dangerous environments around a tornado possible. Due east of the tornado at 6:09 p.m., storm chasers Brett Wright and Brandon Sullivan are watching the tornado only 3,000 yards away. The chaotic movement of the subvortices make it difficult to determine the movement of the tornado. They assume the tornado is headed east to northeast, which would be essentially directly for them. Analyzing the situation, they decide the smartest possible thing to do would be to drive south, but this is a freak tornado, and the decision would place them in a deadly situation as winds begin to batter the vehicle.
Oh my gosh! Debris! Debris! Coming up! That whole thing's coming up! Oh my god! Oh my god! Keep going, Andre, keep going! Keep going! Why is this guy stopping? Watch that car!
why they waited until the tornado was so close to them. But the same illusion that almost killed the tour group has struck again, making the motion seem much less direct than usual. The wet roads and gusting winds mean their car is limited to max 40 miles per hour, a speed which is not at all fast enough to escape the massive growing wind field. As the strongest inflow winds feeding into the tornado strike them, a nearby farmhouse is torn apart, filling their car with debris and shattering the windshield. They are just barely able to keep moving though, escaping the tornado by less than 40 seconds. At the same moment, exactly 1 mile north of Wright and Sullivan, the Twistex group is turning east onto Reno Road. Right now, the team is trying to get in the path of the intensifying tornado by
Reno
paralleling
Street
the
to make
tornado
that
from
clear.
the north. Their hope is to outrace it, allowing them to travel south ahead of it. As they follow the tornado, they no longer see a collection of sub-vortices like earlier, but
Green
instead
skies
a
means
giant
tornado,
wedge,
guys.
a tornado that's wider than it is tall. This doesn't mean that there aren't extreme sub-vortices though. In fact, they are just hidden inside the dust and debris. The only way to see where the sub-vortices are now would be by actually looking in.
I don't know what the heck just happened.
No prep,
Oh, Ed.
no mess. Take and bake it. Live for it.
Now we're gonna have to deal with this. Sponsored. Okay. Sponsored. But
Be unstoppable with a master's degree from Franklin University as the top choice for over 10,000.
This is Peloton. Yeah. One relentless community, united by purpose, driven by progress.
Inside the storm, which is precisely what the crew in control of a mobile radar truck are doing. What they observe is very rare. For most normal tornadoes, the rotating core of the storm will exact its power in a single point. But here, the mesocyclone is so powerful, multiple distinct rotations are forming within the circulation. The wind speeds and erratic motion are alarming to the people inside the radar truck. Less than half a mile behind the Twistex crew, Reed Timmer and Team Dominator are also following the tornado. Storm chaser Ray Bohack is filming from within one of the team's 3 storm chasing vehicles. Dominator 1, he captures the monster in front of them. The massive wedge tornado can be seen in the center of the screen, with Team Twistex just up ahead, right next to the tornado. Unknown to the team though, they are in a very dangerous location. The radar truck records another vortex form over the El Reno airport. This vortex sweeps just behind the team, when suddenly another vortex forms further to the southwest side of the wedge. Within the storm, there are now 3 or more visible vortices rotating around each other. The radar truck crew observes how the formation of these new tornadoes causes some crazy, unpredictable behavior. Here, the main wedge is pulled north by the forming vortex, plunging towards Reno Road, towards the Twistex group. Inside Twistex's vehicle, Paul Samaras has a video camera and is capturing the encounter. While the footage they recorded is lost, the dialogue of the 3 crew members has been transcribed. Carl Young urges Tim to continue east to get ahead of the tornado. We can pass it right now, Tim. It's no problem. Really, I mean, I have a clear shot. But Tim realizes something's wrong. We've got debris in the air. That's the problem. As the wedge curves towards them, the outer bands begin to impact them, pelting the car with debris. We've got to turn to the north. That's good. We're gonna follow it around to the north and
You want me
get
to just
out of
throw
here.
this away?
They turn north onto Reformatory Road, battling
Yeah,
70
that was not a good
winds
deal at all
feeding
for
into
these.
the tornado. While this is happening, a civilian named Richard Henderson is also on Reno Road, just ahead of Twist X. He had watched the tornado touch down 10 minutes prior, where he had snapped an image of the forming tornado on his cell phone to send to a friend before he made a phone call. Henderson says,
I'm having fun. I'm riding around chasing storms.
Henderson's friend expressed concern.
You better stop doing that.
But Henderson kept chasing, continuing east on Reno Road. When the tornado made its lunge north, Henderson kept pushing eastwards. The friend recalls hearing popping noises as debris hit Henderson's car. Soon, the car went dead. If the wedge keeps going north, both Twist X and Henderson will not just be hit by debris, but be directly struck by the violent tornado. In some miracle, the wedge decides to make a complete loop and begins to head south again. This sudden loop allowed Twist X to escape north, where they can turn west onto 10th Street to make another attempt at safely intercepting the tornado. The dark mass now deviates slightly to the east, and with this change in path, a change in speed. The tornado is no longer moving at the reasonable 20 miles per hour from the beginning of its life. Now, it's racing eastwards at more than 50 miles per hour. Any chaser east of the tornado now suddenly finds themselves escaping a deadly situation. There is a huge issue though. There are now potentially hundreds of chasers clogging the wet dirt roads, making it practically impossible to get out of the way. One chaser who finds himself stuck in the chaser traffic jam is Skip Talbot. He's in a group of chasers watching the storm approach from the intersection of 15th and Country Club Road. Up until now, dust has obscured the tornado from sight, except when lightning strikes briefly, illuminating the approaching circulation from behind. But even as the tornado closes, the heavy rain hides the chaotic Ferris wheel of vortices from sight. The group stays, waiting to gain a visual on the tornado. After all, the tornado is still about 2 miles away, but gradually, Talbot notices something unusual. He watches as the rain curtains sweep from left to right at increasingly fast speeds. The rain must be rushing around at more than 100 miles per hour. This triggers a sudden epiphany. The rain is the tornado. The entire area is starting to gain tornadic winds. The group makes the smart decision to scramble east. As they turn onto 15th Street, they join a bumper-to-bumper line of chasers, all running for their lives. Not everyone in this line is a chaser though. A couple minutes before, local resident Billy O'Neill and his son-in-law Jose Bonilla are watching the approaching tornado. Bonilla urges O'Neill to get into the neighbor's storm cellar, but he's too claustrophobic. Because of this, the pair decide to try an outrun in their car. They drive south towards 15th Street, where they see the line of chasers fleeing the approaching funnel. O'Neill stops and waves on the chasers, even as the tornado approaches closer and closer. Eventually,
Tornadoes!
they're able to
Okay,
turn
stop
to
that.
15th
No.
Street, but the tornado is
I do what I
moving way
want.
too fast. Unfortunately, there's no chance. Ahead of them, they see a pickup truck turning south onto a dirt road. Inside is the driver, Dustin
That's all
Keith
for today,
Bridges,
guys.
and passenger Wyatt
I'm gonna watch
Niven.
this
They have
one
both been
more
caught in the
time.
storm